I can't believe this. 1 hour after Putin's annual speech, this guy, Jens Stoltenberg, the General Secretary of NATO, holds a press conference. So NATO had been preparing that Putin is going to do this massive announcement, this huge announcement of some kind of war against the West, or a doomsday Armageddon World War III announcement. And NATO had sat there preparing that immediately after Putin's speech, we have to speak also. It's a little bit like a kid in kindergarten. If Russia speaks, then the NATO should also be able to speak. If Russia says something, then we also want to say something. Fighting who is going to get the last word, and I have studied the decision making of European policymakers, not only NATO but also Germany and England, America. It's really a kindergarten where they want to get the last word. Zelensky wants the last word. They are willing to sort of kind of sacrifice endless amounts of Ukrainians just to get the last word. Even if a certain front is lost, they don't give up. They just keep on sacrificing people anyway. So what did Jens Stoltenberg say? The funny thing is that when you listen to the sort of NATO and American side, and this is very much pushed by America, by the way, all Europeans, like myself, I'm a European, we don't agree with this American hostile foreign policy against Russia. You can almost predict what they are going to say, because the narrative is the same. CNN, BBC, same narrative. Al Jazeera has now the same narrative. Biden, Blinken, it's like the same person talking. It's always, this is Russia's war, this is a war of choice, Putin is evil, Putin chose to invade a sovereign country, Putin chose to escalate the war, Putin is losing terribly, and Putin is getting desperate, and yada yada yada. Then they only show news of when Ukraine destroys Russian equipment. All the Western news is when Ukraine destroys Russian equipment or Russian soldiers, but never when Russia destroys Ukraine and Ukrainian equipment, even at Reddit. So it's so funny. It's like, yeah, okay, I understand that Ukraine has done some successful defensive operations. They have. Ukraine has been successful in defense in certain areas and times. But it's not like it's only Ukrainians losing their lives in Russia. Anyway, so Jens Stoltenberg's narrative was all about, Putin is evil, it's Putin's war, he's escalating this war. Jens Stoltenberg accuses Russia of escalating the war, and he is scared of China getting involved in this war by China supplying arms to Russia. Now, what is my analysis? My analysis is that Jens is afraid. I see in his body language and his tone that he's afraid. And it is kind of funny because I have studied the facial expression of Western leaders. Before the war, they were all chill and so on, and now they're like this. Even Finnish President Niinistö, he's like this. Even the Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, like this. And Jens Stoltenberg, they are scared for real. And they are scared because they know more than what they are presenting, and they know how the war is really going, and they are getting scared of Russia. And I think that that's a positive thing. I think you should be, if nothing other can humble these Western leaders and their arrogance other than fear, well, then I prefer fear over the overconfidence and arrogance that we have seen so far, which is just kind of escalating the war all the time and sacrificing the Ukrainian people to a war that they cannot win. No, you cannot win over Russia, because all the time when you're fighting Russia, you're hoping that they are going to be civil. You're hoping that they are not going to use their heavy weapons.